Hey everyone, this is Andrew Palios at the Society for Immunotherapy of Cancer, Communications Manager. I'm here doing this video to show and demonstrate how a shared review document would work. Basically, when it's time for individuals to review a document, they will receive a link via email from one of the Marcom team members. And once clicking that link, this PDF document will open, or something very similar to this. What you're seeing here is just a PDF document in Adobe Reader. And this document is accessible from um, anywhere within the office. You'll be able to do this remotely as well. Essentially, all you'll really need to know is how to annotate and create comments within a PDF, which I'll show you how to do. And then also up here, this yellow bar, how to publish these comments to the server. So once you start out, you're going to come in here and you're not going to be able to publish any comments because you haven't published anything at that time. So what I'm going to do is just show some of the more common ways of commenting that I would recommend using. Otherwise, you kind of experiment with some of these and figure out how best they would work for you. But typically, the one that I use probably the most is a strikeout comment. So add note to replace text. Again, you can kind of roll over all of these and see what they do. But what I'm going to do is select this add note to replace text here. So on click, I'm going to just highlight what I want replaced. And then here, the PDF is going to cross it out, and I'm just going to say something different than what's shown here. And then that's going to denote my change. So I'm just going to click off of that. You can see this this comment is captured here. Um, uh, so let's see, next step here, you can do the standard strike through. So here's a standard strike through as well. Kind of works the same. Otherwise, when it's just standalone, typically it means delete, but otherwise you can actually replace it with text too, and typically the person that's making these edits will know what to do. Sometimes sometimes if I just want it to be deleted, I'll just hit, put delete here so the person on the other end can understand if that piece needs to be deleted. Say for instance, I wanted to add something in a line of body copy. So maybe I'll go down here and I'll say, you know what, um, I want to put Jitsi here, quotes, right? So I'll click here with my cursor, and I'm just going to go over here to this insert text at cursor icon here. So again, we've seen this before probably. So I'm just going to hit that, and then I'm just going to put what I want entered in there. Real quick and easy. That's pretty much it. Maybe I want to go down further here, and maybe I want to say, hey, this block of text, let me move that. I want to move that down, or something like that. Let me switch these blocks of text up over here, right? Some of the really handy tools that I like to use when editing PDFs are these drawing tools. So I'll take this rectangle, and this one I use a lot. I'll actually frame this paragraph, and then on double clicking it here, I can provide some directive like please move up above previous paragraph. And sometimes that might be a little too much detail, but it doesn't take long to give that level of detail. And then the next thing what I'll do is I'll actually grab this pencil tool here, and they call it the draw freeform tool, but it just looks like a pencil basically. And I'll just take a visual arrow and just make an arrow like that, and that'll just reinforce that that message. So I do that a lot, especially with designers and stuff. So even getting creative with these drawing tools is going to be real helpful to you. Maybe, for instance, I want to go up to this pie chart, and I just want to tell the person editing this document, hey, just this blue part of the pie chart or whatnot. I want to make some kind of an edit to. So this drawing tool can help with that. It's called Draw Connected Lines to End Lines. It's a long name, but it's basically a name that describes what it does. So I'm going to click on it, and then on click, it's going to put an anchor point down. And now when I drag my mouse around, it's going to pull the line out straight. So now I can click again, and it's going to drop another anchor point, and then another anchor point, and then so on and so forth. So then I can now actually trace this square. Now when I'm sorry, this pie section. So when I'm done, I can actually just double click, and now my shape is complete. It stops tracing the lines, and now I can double click the shape and then say my comment. So please remove this entire blue section of pie chart. Okay. All right, good. So again, that's done as the person who's making the edits can go through here, kind of click around, and they'll kind of be able to see it and highlight what the edits are. You can roll over and see that as well. Really common one I'll use too is this Draw Oval tool. So let's just say I wanted to do like another pie chart here. What I would do is actually just draw a circle, right? And actually say like, please, create pie chart here, and so on and so forth. Let's see, with the following data, couple enters, 50%, equals Germany, 25% equals India, 25% equals United States. Okay, so now I'm telling what I want to do for a pie chart here is basically. I'll even use the circle tool for things like this. I'll draw a circle, kind of an oval. I'm drawing it in this way, and saying, please place the join SITC emblem here. Okay. So this is I'm referencing just kind of an icon that we use, sort of a button across the board, and then maybe I can say here, I'll take this square tool again, this rectangle, draw a rectangle, right, just to visually show like kind of the proportions that I'm thinking, etc. And it just helps me as I go through and lay this thing out. Please place text to read, and essentially is we can say join SITC for some great benefits today. Let's put a time on that. So yeah, obviously that would be something that would really get my point across. Let's see, what else here? As I'm looking up, one that I use a lot, like let's say we wanted to move this whole page, this document up here, you can see I'm on page 1 out of 3, so I have 3 pages. A real quick one that I typically would use is this this comment icon here. And so what that does is just gives me like a big sticky note that I can use. And sometimes I'll use this if it's like a huge change where I'm taking this entire page and moving it to some other section of a catalog or a document. I'll just say something like, please move this entire page to last. And then I'll do like page 3 or something like that. Okay, I could do that. You can do other things too, so I'll kind of back out of this document a little bit here by just pressing this minus sign. So I can see the entire page. Oh, good. One more time. And then let's, if I don't remember to do it that way, I can just take this big, square tool and just make a giant square around it, and do the same kind of comment. And let's just release. And then I just say, like, please move this entire page to page 3. Yep, and that's it. So I made that comment. I'm going to jump to the last page. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to some of this copy here. Um, Text styling. What I'll use for that is this highlight text tool. So I'll grab this highlight text tool and I can literally just drag over. Gives me a highlight. I'll double click the highlight and then just say, please make this italic. Okay. Over here, highlight again. Please make this bold. Okay. Maybe I want to add my little sitsy thing, sort of at the end. If I have this kind of active and then I hit this text insert tool, sometimes it gives me a little trouble. So what I'll do is actually use this comment call out box, text call out box, and I'll just click and drag my call out box and then say, please add Jitsi here at the end. Okay. Something like that. Let's say you want this entire column of numbers here to be a certain style, right? You don't want to go through and highlight each one. Take a box, wrap around them, double click and say, please make all of these numbers bold. Okay. That's it. Real quick and easy. Some of the drawing tools again. So I will really love this text call out box. It really gives me some flexibility as well. Like just in case I'm not sure if I'm communicating clearly enough, let's just say, hey, please make this line run all the way to the edge. Okay. And then I can literally take this line tool here, and it's just says draw a line, right? So I'm going to go click, drag, and there you go. And then maybe I'll just do this other line too. Okay, yeah, we'll have a balance, please. Drag this line out too. Okay. Cancel. So I just hit the save button, but that just reminded me of an important piece here. We don't want to hit save. Basically, what you want to do instead of saving this is go to publish comments. The way this works is multiple individuals, as you can see here, could be updating this document at the same time. So we have Minden here, me quite a few times. We also have some other people here like Mike, Michelle, etc. So everyone's been kind of updating this in real time. Some people have been logging in after hours, etc. So the way this works is this document is published onto our server here. So this is an icon that represents our server, and basically what publish comments does is it takes our comments that we just made in this document and syncs it to the document that's sitting on the server in real time. So when other people are commenting on this at the same time, anytime I wanted to check and see if there's a new commenter that's commented on this, I would hit check for new comments. So I would click this button and all of the new comments from everybody else that's working on this at the exact same time are going to be populated here. This button, which is called Publish Comments, this is going to actually take the comments that I've done in this document and push them out to the server so that everyone else who's commenting at the same time can check for new comments and see those comments. So what I'm going to do is hit Publish Comments, and you're going to see this little icon on the server give me a check mark, and it's going to say your 21 new comments were published. So that's confirming that all of my comments are now visible to all of the other individuals that are out here commenting. Now what they can do is actually check for comments in real time, and just hit this button and all of my comments will populate on that document. What's nice about that is that others can reply to each other, right? So if I click on Michelle's comment here, and then I hit do a right click, I can actually hit a reply, right, to this comment. I can even do all kinds of other unique things, but replying is a good thing. So if someone says, hey, this should be blue, but in this case it needed to be red, and I'm a graphic designer or managing the brand, I can reply and say, this is actually supposed to be red, not blue, etc., etc. Even the example of CE credits. Hey, this is supposed to be 1.5 credits. Nope, I'm sorry. Let me reply to the comments and say, this is supposed to be 2.0 credits or something like that. If you catch any comments that you have a discrepancy with, you can definitely reply into this document, and that can be out there for consideration. Another thing, besides the drawing markup tools, there are some other ones here. So, I mean, you can look at them, experiment with them. I went over the ones that I use basically 100% of the time. Everything else here is just kind of fluff. It's not really that necessary, like this underline tool. I can actually highlight this, let's say, United States here, and then just double click this comment and say, please underline. I don't use all of the tools that they provide, but that's not to say that you can't. So here, what I want to bring your attention to at the top is this deadline area. So this area is actually going to tell you when the piece is due, etc. We're going to have the routing slips that you've all come used to seeing integrated into these documents. So at that point, you'll be able to circle changes required, approve with changes, or approved as is in that routing slip, and so on and so forth. You can fill your initials in and everything else in that. So it'll be a lot more user friendly. You'll be able to fit a lot of text into your comment boxes, etc. On there. Finally, last thing I want to show you is this little server icon. There's a little drop down here, and then you can actually go into this track reviews area, and now what you can do is see some information about this review. You can see when it was received on, you can see the status, it's active, the deadline, you can see the comments, and most importantly, you can see the commenters. Eventually, we'll probably be able to move forward with only using this screen as everyone becomes used to it, and see what people have commented on, and so on and so forth, and when was the last time they jumped in, and everything else, how many comments they left, etc. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Visit me at any time at my desk, or just shoot me an email. But otherwise, this is PDF digital routing in a nutshell. So thank you very much for your time.